Hello everyone, this is Luxury PL38. Today's video I want to talk about Instagram sellers and what you should be aware of and what you should look for if you purchase item based on an Instagram sellers, because especially at this crucial time with COVID-19, a lot of us turn to online purchases. And yes, there are some places that you can purchase with a lower risk and even 100% guarantee of getting your money back. Such places are the Fashion File, the Real, eBay, or even Factory Collective. And these places usually comes with a tag, and it does allow you to inspect the items before you cut the tag and keep the bags. However, and these sellers are usually very low risk because it does give you an options. If you do not like it, you can return the bag without cutting the tags, or even if it is not authentic, it does come with a certificate of authenticity because they do their own in-house authentication mostly. And if you find out that it's not authentic, if you do a third-party authentication, they will give your money 100% refund if it's not authentic. So those are a lower risk places. However, because of Instagram sellers, more and more people turn to Instagram sellers, and this kind of sellers market are extremely higher risk. There are no such 100% guarantee, and it is a higher risk place to look if you decide to go into that Instagram sellers. And recently when I purchased my iridescent pink from an Instagram sellers, a lot of you sent me a direct message asking me where I could find it, where they could score the same bag. But I just want to share with you the risk of purchasing from an Instagram sellers and the different category of Instagram sellers. So I'm just going to break it down into two extremes. On the left extreme, we have those companies such as Fashion File, the Real, even Factory Collective. They do have an Instagram account. They are very lower risk, and they do provide that kind of 100% guarantee refund if it's not authentic. Because of that, it is a much lower risk, and they also posted items on Instagram account. However, not everything is posted on Instagram account. On the other spectrum, we have the highest risk Instagram sellers, which have zero website, and they don't actually have registered as a business. So it is just a personal shoppers, or even someone that is selling their private collections, or even scammers that are trying to scam you. Those are on the extreme right hand side, because those categories are extremely high risk, and it is up to individual to determine whether they should go ahead with it. But be mindful that it is an extremely risky conditions, and you do need to be patient. You do need to do your own research, find out more about the Instagram sellers, follow them, and don't rush into purchasing it. I do have one of my followers send me a link of a particular Instagram sellers that happened to have the exact same bag, and she actually wanted to purchase it. But when I look into that account, I actually notify her that there are red flags, and I specify to my follower that these are the red flags that I saw from these sellers. And true enough, thank goodness she didn't purchase. She didn't go ahead with the purchase. And true enough, a few days later, that account was the seller's account was being blocked, and it was a scammer. So thankfully, my followers, one of my followers, she actually listened to my advice. Look, this is a red flag seller's account, and it is entirely up to you if you want to go ahead with it. But I noticed so many red flags on this seller's account, and this is what this video is about. I want to share with you what my limited knowledge of from my experience purchasing from Instagram account. Note that not all the Instagram sellers are scammers. Most of them are genuine sellers, even though they are high risk sellers, but most of them are genuinely possess that particular item that are advertised, and they genuinely want to sell them. In terms of pricing, they're pretty much the same, whether you get it from Fashion File, whether you get it from a personal shoppers, from an Instagram account, whether you get it from the real eBay. The pricing wise is not a major factor because they're pretty much the same pricing. However, it depends on where you can find that particular item, such as this. A unicorn bag is extremely difficult to get, and because of that, some of us are actually tempted to get it from an Instagram sellers without knowing the potential high risk of it. I was so lucky to get this, but bear in mind, I followed this particular Instagram sellers for months and months. I looked through the history, I find out how many people are following this particular sellers, and they have been on Instagram account for a long period of time. So you need to do your own research, find out how long these Instagram sellers has been on the Instagram selling and how many followers. If it's less than 10,000 followers, be careful, be cautious. I told myself 10,000 followers are the one that I am more comfortable going forward. But also, even though it is over 10,000, there are still risks involved. So going back to the spectrum, there are mid-range Instagram sellers that are registered company. They do have a website. They are somewhere in the middle between the Fashion File, those high-end company, and the lower end without any website. So they are somewhere in the middle. They do have a website, primarily selling on Instagram account. Every items they have, they posted on the Instagram account. They have tens of thousands of followers. So they primarily focus on Instagram. There are so many of this company. One of them is the Persefair. I purchased from the Persefair. They do have a shop in Australia. They are Australian-based company. I absolutely love my experience. However, one of the bad experience I have from the Persefair, which I'm gonna explain to you, is this particular Hermes bag. It was my first ever Hermes purchase. I decided to get it from the Persefair. I did follow them on Instagram account for months before I decided to purchase from them. It is a huge purchase, being Hermes bag, 10,000 Canadian dollars or over. And because of that, I want to make sure, and the price itself, it is reasonable for a Kelly, and the condition is excellent. However, it is less than 10 years old. However, there is one minor thing that wasn't being mentioned on the Persefair, which is the smell. Because with such Instagram sellers, you are purchasing based on a picture. You can ask as many questions as you want, which is one of the tips that I recommend. Ask as many questions as you want, other than follow the particular Instagram seller. Do your own research, find out the history. If you're interested in any item, ask them as many questions as you like. And there are one particular category that you cannot look based on the pictures itself, which is the smell. And that's my bad experience with the Persefair. I did not ask about the smell of this bag. When I purchased this particular bag, I got it. It has a strong, musty odor. And that was justifiable with the price tag, because the price itself, it's reasonable. However, when I purchased it, I got it. It does have a strong, musty smell. And I have not used this bag because of that smell. And I've tried every single way to get rid of the smell. It does slowly when I do this, I can still smell the musty odor, but it's not as strong as before. And I actually opened this bag 24 hours and I'm trying to air it out. So hopefully in time it will get rid of the smell. Not completely, but at a reasonable standard. So that particular place that I purchased it, the Persephone, I have good experience other than this particular musty smell, which was not specified. I am okay with it. I did not pursue further. I decided to keep the bag. It does come with the entropy certificate, and I decided to keep the bag. I did not follow up. I didn't even notify them about the smell. However, I am interested in a second Hermes bag from the Persephone. So I actually contacted them and mentioned to them, look, I'm interested in purchasing another Hermes bag from you. However, I want to make sure that this particular second bag does not have a musty odor because of my bad experience from this. We remember the bag and had multiple next in line for the item as it was priced well. Well, to be honest, the bag itself was advertised for weeks before I decided to purchase it. So obviously no one else was trying to purchase it because it was on their website for weeks. A lot of the older bags will have a musty smell, and a lot of pre-loved bags will have musty smell. It's not something we declare as it's just a normal use bag leather smell. So that was my concern, because they do not want to let me know if the bags that I decided to purchase, the second one, have any smell or not. They simply mentioned, well, the Persephone simply mentioned that it is a common thing to have a smell in a bag. So that is one particular thing that I was a little bit concerned, and it is the tips that I want to inform my viewers. If you're after something that has zero musty odor, do ask, because some company do not want to reveal to you, such as the Persephone. They simply say, look, it's not something that we declare, and we're not going to tell you whether it has a musty odor or not. It's just something that you have to find out after you make the purchase, from the look of that. Because till now, I still did not receive an answer to my question. So I decided not to go ahead with that second Hermes bag that I was after, and I decided not to purchase from them because of that. I wasn't sure if it has any musty smell on that, and the fact that they do not want to let me know, that is how the company is operating. I'm okay with that. I just simply do not want to purchase from them because of that reason. So if you're okay to have a gamble, or if you're okay to have a surprise when you purchase, go ahead, but be mindful. If you're someone that does want to avoid something that has a musty smell, ask as many questions as you can. It's not something that you'll be able to tell from the pictures, but this is my experience, and that is also why I'm saying that there are higher risks if you purchase from an Instagram sellers, because certain companies have their own policy. Not all of them will have that kind of guarantee. So my advice is, do your diligent works, find out more about it, and when you receive the items, when you purchase from an Instagram sellers, always authenticate the items. Do not let it go for some time realizing that it is not authentic. Always authentic. When you get it, go for a third party, simply authenticate it. I actually authenticate this bag. So that is my tips on an Instagram sellers. If you do, just before I let you go, I just want to emphasize how those scammers on Instagram account actually scam you, because the payment method are usually a direct bank transfer, such as TransferWise, and I will assume they want to get the money via bank transfer without going through PayPal. So that is something that you should be aware of if you're going for the extreme end of the Instagram sellers. And the mid-range, which are the ones that have company registered and also heavily advertised on Instagram account, those are usually have PayPal. They give you the options, whereas the higher end, which is fashion file, other eBay or other companies that sell online on the website, those usually have PayPal. So be mindful of the extreme lower end, which does not have PayPal. They usually want to use TransferWise, direct bank transfer, and that way, that's how scammers can actually scam you. So just be mindful of that. Not all of Instagram sellers are scammers. However, be diligent, do your own research, and follow them as long as you can until you're comfortable making the purchase. Do not be desperate and jump into something that you've been looking for months simply because this particular sellers has it and this particular sellers is new to you. You have no prior history. You've just followed them on Instagram. That is a huge red flag. Make sure you follow them for quite some time. Know their activity, what kind of pictures they posted before you jump into purchasing it. So hopefully this video helped you, and if you do have any questions, please do so in the sections below. And once again, thank you so much for watching.